So here we are rebuilding Gilligan. You'll recognize these preformed bits of cardboard. I started the peekaboo bin with it indoors, and it was taking forever for the indoor bin to process it. So what I did is I put these remaining pieces out on our deck and let a rainfall soak them, so you can see that they're much easier to break apart, and Landon's putting them on the bottom of the bin here. There's the big one going in. But you know, I like the fact that they provide air. So the next thing that goes in is some very well aged manure, complete with worms. So the manure is going in. This manure is, oh, what would you say it is, Landon? It's been at our property for what, 8 months? And
well, yeah, something like that. Didn't we get some in September?
Yeah, might have got some in September. And so it's been sitting outdoors at our property for that long, and it was aged when we got it. So it's horse manure, actually. And so we are going to give this, okay, now some of the cardboard, Landon. Let's put a bucket of the cardboard down. Spread that around, and let's put a layer of cardboard in. So our goal here is to refill Gilligan and get this working. This is the first week of March, and maybe if I'm being optimistic, by May we will be able to pull this out and add it to our gardens. So we are adding a aged bedding bin that's been going. It will have worms in it. This is cardboard that's being moistened, given grit and some cornmeal. So if you just spread that around a little bit, Landon, and there'll be worms in there, because I always put a handful of castings into my aged bedding bins, and I always make sure that there are worms in it. So you know, my aged bedding bins, if I just come closer, can we see any worms in there? There should have been visible at the bottom. Anyway, I don't see any crawling away, but I know there'll be a few worms in there. All right, so more manure. And you saw the amount of castings that we pulled out of Gilligan. Well, we put in a tremendous amount of material into the original Gilligan and replenished it many times over the winter, building it up quite high in the middle. So what Landon's doing right now is he's putting another layer of manure on, and then we have another bucket of bedding to put in. More manure worms, more red worms. Yeah, I see quite a few of them. They would have been active in this manure through the winter, and also there'll be cocoons in here. So here goes another bedding bin in there, and I can see, oh, that one's got a bug in it, does it? Oh no, those are drips of water. I thought those were something else. Okay, so if you could spread that around, let's see if there's worms in this one. So I don't think we'll need the rainwater. I brought rainwater to moisten this.
Depends if you want to put that other bucket in, because it's dry.
Yeah, it's dry, yeah. So do you see any worms in this one? Actually, I don't see any worms in this one either. We may have to, well, we will have to add worms to Gilligan, because...
Well, there's lots of worms in here.
You think the manure has a lot of worms? But this is a lot of material to process by May.
Well, we'll see how it's going.
So now that you can see that we've got our thermostatically controlled seed heating mat, the thermostat we put on the bottom inside of Gilligan, so that the temperature will go no higher than 20 degrees at the bottom of the bin. We made the mistake of putting the thermostat a bit higher up through the winter, and we actually think the bottom of Gilligan might have got a little bit too hot as the seed heating mat struggled to get 20 degrees at the thermostat level, or 18 to 20 degrees Celsius, rather than right at the bottom of the bin, and I think the bottom is plenty. To have the bottom at 20 is plenty warm enough. You know, this is now springtime temperatures, so because it's thermostatically controlled, it won't overheat this bin, but on the other hand, it will give it a little bit of a top up heating. So what do you think all those sticks are? Is that straw, Landon, or hay, or?
What, this?
No, all the sticks. I know that's a needle, but what are all those sticks, do you think, that came in the manure?
I don't know. I'm not paying attention to figure that out.
Okay, so I think that's probably good enough, and what do you think?
Well, if we put any more on it, lid won't close. So.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you think for dampness?
Well,
is the manure damp? I know that bedding was damp, but is the manure damp? It was out in the rain, right? Oh, and we had that.
No. Well, it was, and then I took it out from there.
We had, what's that, a cocoon?
No, I'm thinking it's a cutworm.
Oh, something else. Another little ride along. So.
Well, I think it wouldn't hurt to add water.
Okay, we're gonna add some rainwater to this then.
All of this.
Yep, let's put all of it in and just spread it around. So we have no drainage in this system, but it seemed to just work out just perfectly with what we did last winter. And
it was only about a half a gallon. So.
Yeah, we didn't put too much water in there, but obviously there are worms alive in the manure, and the bedding we put in was modestly moist. So we're going to put the lid on there, and we are going to add worms to it. I'll probably, when I go into my tower systems, I'll pull out some worms. I know I just added Gilligan's worms to my indoor system, so that's okay. We'll give some other worms a chance to come live in this outdoor paddling pool, and I'll show you how it's doing from time to time as we see if Gilligan can give us more castings. I'm hoping for like 3 months, and you know, it's mostly manure, so even if it's not fully processed, it'll still be great for our garden. All right, take care everyone.